For more, I'm joined by John Tefft, former U.S. ambassador to Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, and Lithuania. That's quite a resume, Ambassador Tefft. He's now with the RAND Corporation. Ambassador, today, the leaders of Poland, the Czech Republic, and Slovenia, as we just said, took what had to be a treacherous journey across Ukraine by rail to see the besieged capital of Kyiv. Clearly, they didn't need to take this risk to consult with President Zelensky. What do you think they accomplished beyond symbolism?
Well, I think really that's the point, Mike. It was a symbolic journey of three obviously brave leaders who wanted to go and show not only the people of Ukraine and President Zelensky and all of the politicians there of the EU support, but they also wanted to send a message to the people in Europe that Europe was with Ukraine and against this really barbaric invasion of Ukraine by Russia. They wanted to show their support in a very concrete way, and I'm told that they took along with them proposals and commitments for additional funding and support from Europe.
It still had to be a security risk. That we've heard often that Russia does not have supremacy in the skies. If they had, it's hard to believe that they would have taken that risk at all. I want to turn the page now to China and this dance they're doing with the rest of the world over their relations with Russia. Russia wants China's help. Will they give it to them, in your view?
I think the Chinese are in kind of a bind here, Mike, because on the one hand, they support and they're united with Russia in their support for an authoritarian world. They're united in their opposition to the United States. But at the same time, I don't think they really want to get caught in the middle here. They don't want to get sanctioned further by the United States or Europe. And I think they want to be very careful about getting drawn into some kind of a deal with the Russians here that could end up jeopardizing their own interests. So I Chinese to be very careful.
You would expect that, considering their major markets in Europe and the United States would be jeopardized, and it's a delicate dance they're doing. I don't think there's any question about that. The New York Times, for their part, says China already knows who will win the war in Ukraine, and guess what? It's China. So does China stand to gain here, and what do you think they meant by that?
I think they meant that the Chinese were going to benefit in the sense of they'll be both in a better position to negotiate with the Russians. For some time now, Russia has been the junior partner in this relationship, and the Chinese have been getting gas and oil for their own needs, their own manufacturing and other needs at home. But I think this is also going to give the Chinese kind of an upper hand, if you will, in the region. You know, one of the things that hasn't been mentioned, Mike, very often has been that the Chinese were rapidly expanding their trade ties into Ukraine before this started. And one of the things that they may hope to get out of this is contracts and sales for the rebuilding of Ukraine, which I hope we can get to sooner rather than later. But that means we've got to have President Putin stop the war.
Yeah. You make a good point. China in a tough spot because it gets a lot of its energy to operate those factories that make the goods that go to the United States and the EU. They get a lot of that fuel, that fossil fuel from Russia. Former ambassador to Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, and Lithuania, John Tefft. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.